Let's go on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Huh? It's on YouTube right now.
No, now it's on.
Yeah.
I know, it's on that.
Close it and come back in.
I know, it's on that.
Close it and come back in.
I know, it's on that.
Close it and come back in.
I know, it's on that.
Hear me? You hear me?
I can see you.
Three. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me.
Are you watching it?
No, feedback.
Yeah, I hear feedback too. It might be them. Are you watching it?
No, feedback.
Yeah, I hear feedback too. It might be them. Yeah, I hear feedback too. It might be them. Ian, you might turn your feet down a little bit. Ian, you might turn your feet down a little bit. Ian, you might turn your feet down a little bit. You might. The feedback is crazy, man.
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
I hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, the feedback on this computer is completely off. So
Yeah,
the mic's off, the audio's off, everything's off. So I'm not sure what that other piece of yeah, the feedback on this computer is completely off. So the mic's off, the audio's off, everything's off. So I'm not sure what that other piece of yeah, the feedback on this computer is completely off. So the mic's off, the audio's off, everything's off.
All right, let's go.
So I'm not sure what that other piece of the mic's off, the audio's off, everything's off.
All right, let's go.
I'm not sure what that other piece of
All right. Yeah, it's less now.
the mic's off, the audio's off, everything's off. All right, let's go. I'm not sure what that other piece of
All right. Yeah, it's less now.
Can you hear me now or no?
I'm not sure what other piece of all right. Yeah, it's less now.
Can you hear me now or no?
I'm not sure what other piece of all right.
Was it 'cause they both at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now. Good.
Turn your volume up and put your hair here.
Yeah, YouTube is here with us.
All right.
Ian's here with us.
Are we good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
All right.
What's
let's
good,
go,
bro?
man.
Tech can't live with it, can't live without it, man. How are you?
Everything
Yeah,
good,
man.
man. I see you in the office. You're still working like usual.
Just a little bit, man. I thank you guys for the love. The feedback has been absolutely incredible. I really appreciate it.
Nah.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. If anybody has not checked out the episode yet, make sure you check that out. Episode 70, Earn Your Leisure podcast, out right now. So yeah, today we're gonna do a little different. Usually we do like recaps on Instagram Live, but I feel like this is better because it allows for more just a visually appealing, and then we can get question and answer. So yeah, I mean, I know that this is a crazy time to be in the market. So first and foremost, before we even start talking about some technical stuff, because we recorded that episode before all of this corona and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So first thing is, what's your advice for people that are panicking, that are nervous, just about investing in general?
If you have a 401k for the next 30 days, you probably should go ultra conservative. So if your 401k manager has not emailed you to help you in any way, email them and say, I want to go conservative so you can prevent some of the losses that are happening. And then secondly, in about a month is going to be starting a really good time to buy. I know it's hard not to panic. We've dropped past every level, and you guys have been seeing me screaming it on Instagram and on Facebook. Like, if we break 2,300, we're going to have a deep recession. This is the time when you can't deviate from your plan, because we're going to look back in 10 and 20 years and be like, we missed out again. And we said the same thing in 08, 07, 08. Man, I wish I would have dove in deeper and gave more money to the market. We're going to have some good buying opportunities, but we have a little bit more to fall. But first thing first, if you have a 401k, you have to tell them to take you to conservative for about 30 days until the bleeding stops.
Conservative, like money market conservative or bonds?
I will go either one. It's fine, because if you're hyper aggressive now, if you're 40 plus, it's really scary to draw down 20-25% in 2 weeks. Like, I talked to a lady 2 days ago who lost $125,000 in the market because no one at her advisory company told her that she could go conservative. And it takes 3 buttons to do so. If you're 30 or younger, you're fine. Weather the storm, you'll be okay. Bonds are good, but I wouldn't mind money market either.
So at a time like this, man, with everything going on as far as the coronavirus and everybody's home, is this the type of time where you're not even getting sleep, or what was it like for you in the short-term trading business?
I'm going off maybe 3-4 hours of sleep a night, because some of the greatest opportunities that I've seen in my lifetime have happened in the last week. So crude dropped over 1,000 ticks. I mean, I don't want to get too technical, but like, we've had some of the greatest drops, and people don't know. And I was looking at the YouTube comments, and the guy said, well, I said that you can't make money unless the market goes up. I'm like, I never said that. So even red,
Misquoted you.
Yeah, if you have a red candle, it means the market is dropping. Panda is a bear. I love bearish markets for short-term investing. So like the Dow and the ES and everything is falling. Like, if we look at a monthly chart, the ES fell from 31.35 and we dropped down to 22.69. This is the greatest drop I've ever seen in my life in 1 month. So little sleep. Any trader that I know has been pretty much trading around the clock. I've been getting up probably as early as 5:30 and stopping maybe at 11.
On the episode, you said the key to it is investing the first thing in the morning and right before close. You still holding true to that strategy?
Yes, I'm doing a little bit more at the London session at 2:30 a.m. Once in a while. I was up last night at 4 a.m. My son wasn't sleeping well, so I'm like, I might as well get up and start the day. But those are still the 2 prime times to trade, especially the futures market. And we recorded the episode in January, but now you're hearing a lot about the futures market. because it's telling you what's going to happen the day or night before. But yes, the open and close is still the two best times to trade back.
I saw somebody ask you that on YouTube. They was like, "When was this recorded?" Not realizing that we had did it a few months ago.
We did it a couple
So the Dow Jones right now is hovering around 20,000, right? I personally said like when it gets to 19,000, I'm gonna jump in. That was my personal thing because it was at 29. So, but then I calculated it and I realized that in 2008 the Dow dropped 46%. So I said, okay, 46 right now it's down 30%. So 46% brings us to 16,000. So then I'm thinking, well, maybe 16,000 is the time to actually get in. It's very tricky though, because you don't know, you're trying to time the market. That's why you shouldn't really time the market, but in your personal opinion. So I'm torn between 19 and 16.
We had this conversation the other day. You're on the phone like, yo, is it time? Is it time?
Yeah.
The 50% mark.
I said 15.
Yeah, the 50% mark, high to low, Dow now back to 2008 is 17,984. That's literally half. So you guys can write that down, 17,984. If you look at 20 years, the high was 29,543. The low was 6,460, 17,900. So anywhere in the 17,000s, we have to start buying. We have, because that's literally half off from the all-time high going back to 2008.
But that could be any day. Like that could be any day next week.
If they wouldn't halt the market as much, we would have been below 17,000 already. I'm glad that they did, and I honestly wish they would close the market for 2 weeks. They're not going to do it. But that can be. We're at 19,579 now. Yeah, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday we could get there.
But I've never seen that in my lifetime. So if the market closes, right? Tell me what happens, right? If doors are closed, people can't trade. What happens?
There's two different theories. So people think that it will cause mass hysteria. I grew up in a lower income area. So I'm thinking about my aunts that grew up in East Chicago, my family that is in Gary, my friends in St. Louis, because their 401ks are getting obliterated. And we have to remember after 07, 08, there are people that never got back into the market because of that. From a investing standpoint, short term, it's been one of the greatest seasons for me. But I truth be told, like electronic trading will be in full effect next week because everybody will be off the floor because of Corona. They're not going to close the market. I wish they would. But some people think it will cause a lot of panic if they did that.
I would imagine.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like you talked about quantitative easing in the podcast, and then they jump $1 trillion into the market, and they're doing all kinds of stuff. They're trying to give everybody a check, and it's really desperation as far as the economy is concerned. But
Absolutely.
I want to talk about oil because it was the biggest gain ever today.
Yes.
You trade oil?
Yes. Crude. Yep.
Good day for you.
Decent. And a drop yesterday as well was absolutely incredible. Yeah. So crude went from 22.34 and went up to 28. Huge jump. I mean, but we basically went to almost all-time lows. Almost. Like I was telling my students the other day, if you look at the 20-year on crude, the all-time high was 147.27. We were down at yesterday at 20.83. So it's 90% down from all-time lows. And that's what prompted some of the spike that happened today.
I read an article. They were saying that there's a chance that crude can go to zero due to the amount of surplus not matching the demand. You think that's something that likely could happen?
I think we could possibly go to 5.
5.
Yeah. Possible. Wow. I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't. But the lowest I see we could go is 5. 5 flat.
So we're talking like 50 cents for gas.
Yeah, but it's also going to hurt the economy. So the thing that's tough now, the quantitative easing and money that they're putting into the market, this is in 2008. This is a health epidemic. So they're putting all this money into the market to try to stop it, but you're really putting a Band-Aid over a bullet wound. That's why no matter how much money they put into the market, we'll pop up for an hour or two and then slide right back down. Like we need a cure or some kind of vaccine to help Now, of course, it'll go away, but for right now, when you're in the middle of the fire, it never feels like this is going to end.
Yeah.
But if oil continues to go down, and the truth is, we were at all-time highs. We were too high because of quantitative easing, and a lot of it is getting blamed on Corona. We were going to slide down 10% anyway.
Somebody just asked about cruise lines. So my personal opinion is that I'm not bullish on cruises because I feel like the reason why I'm bullish on the airline industry is because they're too big to fail. It reminds me of the banks in 2008. Yep. They're going to get a bailout. It's just a matter of the terms of the bailout.
Yeah.
Everybody's not going to get a bailout.
Nope.
You don't have to go on a cruise to the Caribbean. It's not a necessity. You have to fly. Flying is non-negotiable in this day and age. So the bailout's already in works for the airline industry, but every industry cannot get bailed out. Some industries are going to be hurt for a long time.
Yeah.
Hotels will be hurt for a long time.
Yeah, they're predicting 7 million people in the restaurant industry are going to have no job by the time this is over. In terms of the bailout, a lot of people are saying 1 trillion, that's not enough. Is there a number in your mind that you would think, like, you know what, maybe 4 trillion should do the trick? Like, is there a number that you think would help this?
I hate that they're just throwing these numbers around like it's such a small amount of money, but probably, I mean, honestly, probably 6 or 7 trillion. Whew. It's unbelievable, like how much money they're having to print in order to stabilize everything. Then we got to tie in election season, and we still don't know how to flatten that curve on the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And my fear is, what if it mutates and it happens again? We're not well prepared. We're not well prepared. So I want everyone, and I know some people beat me up about the no debt thing, but for emergencies like this is why I stress, please put some money away. If you don't listen to anything else about investing, that's great. Put some money away in case an emergency happens, because we are going to be the last ones to get bailed out. Us as African Americans, we're going to get it last. Please put some money away. And if Delta gets to about 15 or 17, I would take a crack at it. I would take it ideally, I would like it at 17.50, but if it gets to 15, Delta Airlines would be a good grab.
Delta's on my watch list.
Boeing. Somebody just said Boeing was at 344. It's down to 89 right now.
Look at Boeing for you real quick. Ooh, man, Boeing is. Oh, wow, Boeing is at going back since inception. We talked about that.
Yeah.
If Boeing can get to 75, I would do the Jim Cramer bye. Yeah, they're not going to let Boeing go out of business.
Nah, it's too big. And the thing with Boeing is it's a supply chain. They actually make a lot of parts for the government.
For the industry, yes.
Yeah. All right, let's take some questions.
All right, who we got?
And one quick thing, the thing that I'm looking at to determine these levels, because I want to give some stuff away for free, because I'm not just here to sell stuff.
Yeah.
These are called Fibonacci retracements. Fibonacci retracements. So if you go since inception, you go from high to low. Boeing, the high was at 446, the 4.5% line. So we almost dropped 96%, is 75.49. And the middle is 253. So we're way under the 50% line. We're way at the lows, all-time lows of that company. Like, I would love Boeing at 75. If I can get it at 10, even better. I don't think it'll drop that far.
$10?
I don't think it would drop. The all-time low is 747. Ironically,
I was waiting for Boeing to get to 100. And it got to the crazy thing. I got it on my watch list, so I was waiting for Boeing to get to 100.
It's at 94 now.
Mm-hmm. I know. So it crossed that line today because that's a 7-year low. Boeing was at 340. It's like
344.
Boeing is 68% lower, 74%, something like that, lower today than it was like 3 months ago.
I mean, the drops here are insane. And for those of you that are technical traders, if you look at the 23.6. Fibonacci retracement, that's 112.50. We're underneath that.
So you do technical analysis.
Yes.
Can you just briefly explain what technical? So what is that? That's the chart you're looking at right there, right?
Yes.
Candlestick.
Yes. So this is a 20-year chart. So if you ever play ball, like technical analysis to me is just mapping out how far something has went up or went down. And that's why I like to make a lot of sports analogies. Like now, this is kind of like when if Bron got injured, the Lakers would tank.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing happened when the Lakers weren't doing good. Then now this year they're doing better. We are almost at a point where we dropped 96% of the value. Has Boeing lost 95% of his actual value? No. We're at all-time lows, and the last time we were here was in February of 2016. So yeah, we cracked every low. Give it 2 or 3 years, it's gonna go back up. But technical analysis is just matching high to lows to determine when you should enter and exit a position.
And the head and shoulders thing, I did a little technical analysis.
Okay.
Can you explain the head and because that's like a classic head and shoulder thing right there, right?
Yeah, and then because you see the pattern, and even also we had like a double top, and I don't want to talk over some of you guys' heads, but we hit highs here, and then we came down. This is the head, so this is the high, and it came back down to this previous area, and then it broke down. Give it time, it's probably going to take a year and a half, but we're going to go from 97 back up into the 350s. But this is why I always say first, we have to invest long term. We have to. I know it's scary as hell right now. Even for me, knowing what to do, I was like, I can't believe we're dropping this fucking far. Like we've had every level of support broken through, but you can see how far we dropped. Boeing is still a quality company. And even if you go back further and look at, let's say, a quarterly chart, Boeing had all these months and years from 2011. These peach candles mean bullish. So since 2011, they had all bullish quarters. This is the first bearish quarter in a long time. It's going to turn back around.
Yeah, I think it's important for people to know that. And one last thing before we do questions is, can you talk about like resilience points where if it breaks that and then it's just like kind of a free fall from there? Because I think for Boeing it's $100. That's what I was kind of looking at, and it was stable. It's like going back, but I feel like if it has a sharp decline, it might go to 50.
Yeah, if the news does not turn around. So we need something that's going to prop the market up. And then once that stabilizes, we need that first. So that's going to be the catalyst to make these stocks to stop dropping. Because Boeing hasn't lost all of their value overnight. But if we drop through 46, we'll probably drop to the 20s.
Ooh.
It's a key level. Because the thing, we're in free fall. So we need a parachute to stop it. Now, leadership helps. So when Obama came in 2008, he had a very clear plan. He was calm. Everyone was like, okay, I get it. With the leadership we have in office right now, since he denied Corona for so long, now America is panicking and everyone's taking the money out of the market. 401ks have dropped. So people are like, here we go again. This happened in 2008. And we feel like we don't have leadership that is guiding us on what to do. But once everything clears, everything gets calm, those areas of like 50, 75 will be a good area. But it's going to take 2 or 3 years for Boeing to go back up to probably that 400. Yeah.
We got a hand. Are you able to unmute the hands too, Ian? We got, who's that? Jay Thomas is. I'm gonna unmute him.
Yeah, you can unmute whoever you like. Let me see if I can.
All right, he's unmuted.
Ian.
Yes. How are you?
Oh man, it's Jamal, also from EYL. You know, I'm at the house, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm good.
Listen, I wanted to ask you a question because it was something interesting that I was watching. I mean, we could only kind of talk through history, but if you go back to when we had our original, financial crisis, there was a deterioration in the actual market that started to kind of have somewhat of a free fall that hit like towards the end of November 2008. Mm-hmm. But then we didn't really have that huge drop until like it started to kind of trickle down once the new year hit. And then we hit that March 9th where we started to see, the levels that you're kind of talking about, but probably we won't get back to those levels. Do you think that with the stimulus that they're implementing now, increasing the funding, offering billions of dollars, is that enough for this to start to parachute down like you say? Or would you do some long-term buying in the event that it props back up? Or do you see that these levels can start to really continue to deteriorate?
If they don't come out with a plan to stop this or slow this, we're going to continue to fall. So that's why you're seeing them trying to hurry and come out with a vaccine or a treatment plan. And the sad part is other countries had reached out. Now it's coming out up to 35 days ago, trying to warn us of what was happening. So this is just like an issue of negligence and mismanagement based on leadership. Had a few key people listen and that team was kept intact, it would have been okay. The bleeding is not going to last forever, but my thesis has always been you have to invest every single month. If you want to go lighter because you don't want to risk the money, I totally get it. But I'm begging everyone, please do not stop investing for 3 or 4 years. Because everyone says, well, there was no signs. We had so much quantitative easing and we kept hitting all-time high after all-time high. So for those of you that are technicians, if you look at Bollinger Bands or VWAP, you can see we were oversold for a long time. So we were due for a pullback anyway. Rashad, you notice we were due for a pullback of 10% anyway for a year. Then Corona came on top of it, and that was the 800-pound gorilla in the room that knocked us down further. And now everyone is panicking, like, what the hell happened? Yeah. There were signs before.
No, it's crazy because I was in a meeting. He's still on?
Yeah, he's good.
I was in a meeting, and I got like some like inside reports from like banking industry of like they have like charts to kind of determine like when a recession is coming.
Yep.
And it was like 30% signs leading towards a recession. This was back in January.
Yes.
So I told all my friends like, I'm like, yo, I'm like 18 months. I'm like, save as much money as you possibly can. A recession is coming. I'm like 18 months. That would have held true if it wasn't for this coronavirus because the economy still strong. The economy it's not like this was caused by some disease that we didn't see coming. Yeah. But to answer you, like you said, I mean, everybody kind of knew it was coming. I think we just got blindsided by this corona. It's a little bit quicker than we thought it was going to just play out.
Yeah, and even I know a lot of people can't see, but if you guys look at a basic indicator called Bollinger Bands on the monthly chart, even Boeing had crossed the high at 446. We were due to come back down to 350 anyway. So think of it like this: when a company hits an all-time high, it's like if LeBron scores 55 on Milwaukee. You know he's not going to put up 55 consecutive nights after that. He's going to taper back off to what his average is. So he's going to go back to 30 or 35 a game. Still amazing, but you're not going to bet that LeBron's going to score 55 9 games in a row. It's the same thing here. We were just too high. Coronavirus was on top of it. Then the global pandemic kicked in, and then the nail in the coffin was mismanagement by executive leadership.
So, quick question. So the indicators that you're looking at, is that something that you're setting or that is set by a program, right? Because I was looking up some stuff and I saw an RSI and I'm like, no, I gotta ask Ian what an RSI is.
Yeah, relative strength. I don't like lower studies, but Bollinger Band, all of the indicators that I use are on Yahoo Finance. They're on every platform. TD Ameritrade, any one that has any kind of chart, you can just add them. And so these bottom lines are just the lows and the top line are just the high. We always know to buy low and sell high. What happens in the market is you will hear something go up and you're like, I missed out, let me buy it anyway. And you end up buying it at a high and then it goes down and then you panic. We're through like pretty much all-time lows in almost every industry right now.
I saw that with Chipotle. I was watching it. It went down to 440.
Chipotle was up crazy right now.
I said, oh man, all right, it's still gonna go. I woke up this morning, it was up $70, $5.35.
I'm going heavy in Starbucks. My personal
Starbucks is
heavy on Starbucks.
Yep.
I'm hoping that it just dips a little bit more.
Yeah.
Heavy on Starbucks. Heavy. People can't stop drinking coffee even if they wanted to because caffeine's a drug and people are addicted. This is true. I didn't really realize this because I don't drink coffee until I started being around people like in the financial world. People drink tons of coffee.
Yes.
And one of my colleagues, he's Jewish, and you know, like for Passover, I think they got to fast. They got to give up something. So he gave up coffee, and he was telling me how he started going through withdrawals in one day because he drank 5 cups of coffee a day.
Yeah.
In New York City, like people drinking 5-6 cups of coffee a day. Like
easily.
It's a legal drug.
And then there's also a lifestyle brand.
Yeah.
At the higher end of the market. And that's one thing people have to remember. The higher end companies don't suffer as much as lower price companies. You have your exceptions like Dollar Tree and things like that. But a lot of restaurants who operated on very tight margins are getting squeezed like crazy. And that's why the layoffs are impacting so many people, because most businesses don't have enough cash on hand. And a lot of business owners like would jump on me about the no debt thing. If you can use capital to grow your business, great, especially in real estate. My dad does construction, has rental properties. Anyone who's ever owned a loan commercially, if you could pay it off, they will always take the option to pay it off though. It's always the case. Ask anyone who has a multi-unit property, if I could pay off the loan for you and you kept the building, ask them what would they say. They always say yes. So in times like these, we have to be prepared. But if you can get Starbucks at 55, it'd be a good pick.
Yeah.
We got who's that? MG?
Matt, yeah.
Matt, what's going on, bro?
Yo, what's good? What's good, y'all?
What's going
Matt, how
on?
you doing, man?
I'm good, Ian. How you, man?
I'm good.
So look, man, y'all talking a lot of y'all talking Spanish to me right now.
Okay.
Right?
Let me talk English to you. Let me help you.
I need y'all to talk English to me. You know, I'm the mortgage guy, I'm not the stock guy. But I'm now getting into the stocks because I like undervalued assets. And I'm seeing, you know, I'm bullish on Delta. I actually purchased something like yesterday, like $23 a share. I lost a couple of dollars today, but I'm not tripping. I'm definitely I've been paying attention to Boeing all day long. And I was thinking probably jumping in on Boeing once it gets to like 90, between 85 and $90, but you kind of changed my mind just now when you said 75. Yeah. I think you or Rashad said 75, I'm not sure. But yeah, so 75, I think that's a good target also now because you're the expert in this. But for someone like myself who's a new investor in the stock world, like what should we be what should we be looking for, right? Like someone who doesn't have a lot of money, you know, a lot of our followers, you know, they don't have 10, 20, 30,000 to play with like that. But
I did when I started you.
So like what should we be looking at if you only have $500 or $1,000? Like what type of stocks, like what should we be doing? What kind of advice could you give people in that dollar amount?
First off, I would say don't undersell yourself because you said it perfectly. You're looking for a distressed asset. So it's no different than if a house was on sale 60%. It's the same thing. So you have the principles and philosophy of what to do. Boeing is cheap. Boeing, like a couple months ago, was 360. Boeing is at 97. If you can get it at 80, great. But if not, I tell everyone to do this. Start with one share. Start with one share. Everyone wants to pile in a bunch of money at one time and flip fast. What everyone needs to see is it worked. And if once it works, you're like, oh, I bought it at 95 and it went up to 110. And then you start to calculate, well, I bought one share, man. If I would have bought 10, great. What if me and my friends all bought 10 together? That would help. So that's the first action step. There's a ton of things on sale. Starbucks is cheap. We've talked about Bank of America. We talked about Delta. Even the indexes have come down a lot. So, but my greatest piece of advice would be to start with one share, give it 3 months, see it work, and now you will have a blueprint for what works for you. But it's the same thing as buying a house. It would be no different than if I told you houses in Brooklyn are now 70% off. You would be rushing to buy all the property you could.
So Bowen's like that brownstone in Brooklyn.
Yes. It's all the same thing because it's all assets. You don't want to buy it when it's too high, when it's too popular. You want to buy it when it is, and it's the same thing as the buy back the block method. You want to go and look for distressed properties or distressed assets, buy them low, and then hold them for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, so you can get the value out of them.
All right. So now let's talk to the flipper mentality, right?
Okay.
How do you short a stock?
That's a whole different ball game.
Teach us, brother. We here to learn.
So you have to be careful because you don't want to get short squeezed, but you have to have certain privileges in your account. So if you go through TD Ameritrade, you actually have to borrow the shares to be able to short. You don't want to short when we're at a low though. So the mistake that people make, they see the market drop, they see the movie Big Short, they're like, oh shit, I'm gonna do the same thing. It's too low. So like when Tesla was at 900, 800, that was the time to do it. Tesla right now is not in a prime place to do it because Tesla dropped back to the place it should be around 420, 430. When Tesla was at 968 and 900, that was the time to short it. Be very careful though. You have to have a predetermined target when you exit. And for a very volatile stock, I would probably, if it drops 50 to 75%, I will look to get out of it. But you need.
Can you explain what a predetermined target means?
So, like, if Tesla is at 900, you will want to short it until it goes to 800 or 700. Because when people are shorting stocks, especially if it's a quality company, it's going to go back up. And what ends up happening, we end up holding too long when we short. That's why when I told people like stocks are meant to be held long term, you will see every time people short Tesla, Tesla will shoot back up, and then Elon will get on Twitter and laugh at them because he knows a certain amount of people are going to buy them and they're going to push the people that are shorting out of it. But you have to borrow the shares. But when you make that trade, so it's the same thing as a house. If you're selling a house, you know what price you want to get out of it. Before you buy or short, you have to know what your exit price is before you even place the order. Man. Most people gamble. They're like, man, I'm a short Tesla at 800, and then it goes down to 400. You're a genius. And then in 3 months, it goes from 400, then it goes up to 1200. And you're like, what happened? It's too late. You have to have your plan before you get into the game.
Because the problem is that most people just wing it. Like they'll go in any type of investment. You got to treat investments like a business. Like they just go in and say, okay,
that's what it is.
I'm going to buy Boeing at $100.
And I'm going to hope that it goes up. Yeah.
They're not going, they don't have no plan of anything.
Yeah.
No
you have to have
nothing. It's like, you got to have to say, okay, this is my plan to sell it. This is my plan to buy it. This is my plan. Like, I mean, like you got to kind of already have that mapped out. But like you said, especially for beginners, shorting stock is something that you want to be very careful about. Because it's not.
There are a class of indexes too that you can buy when the market is dropping like crazy. I put it out on Facebook. I put it out on Instagram. These are indexes that do the inverse. Now, you do not want to hold these for long periods of time. I want to be on the record. You do not want to hold these for long periods of time, maybe 5 to 6 days. You guys can write this down. UVXY.
UVXY?
Yes, it's an inverted index. So let's say we go out full recession. UVXY and TVIX are indexes that go up as the market is crashing.
TBIS as a
U as in umbrella, V as in Victor,
yeah,
X as in Xerox, Y as in yellow, UVXY.
Yeah, I'm saying the other one you just said, TBIS.
Oh, TVIX, yeah. Tony, Victor, Ian, Xander, TVIX.
Gotcha. So these are inverted indexes?
Yes.
So how do we make money off of that?
If it goes down, you make money.
Yes, if the market crashes, and let me show you. So if you look at the last month, a month ago, UVXY was at $10.55. As the market is crashing, you can buy it.
Yeah.
UVXY went to $135 on the 18th, which was yesterday.
So if we had that index, let's say
it would have offset the losses. Yes,
we would have made a killing.
So that went from $10 to $100 in 2 weeks.
Yes, 135.
And when everything else was going down, that was going up.
It was going up. Yeah. And if you guys look at my and this isn't theory, this is stuff that I was in, my friends were in, some of my students were in to offset the long-term losses. Now, you only want to hold it for 2 to 3 weeks because people don't know. You hear the volatility index or the VIX, but you can actually buy the VIX to offset losses. It's just a hedging strategy. So for everyone else, the VIX is the oh my God, everything is falling apart index. So the higher the VIX goes, the further the market drops.
Right. So if I'm playing that, me and Shah, we had this conversation like 3 times a day almost. If I'm like, yo, it's going down to 15, it goes down to 12. If I have that index, it's at 20 now.
Yes.
Then I'm gonna make some money off of that.
Yeah. The quote that Kramer has about there is a bull market somewhere is absolutely true. There's not a point in time when absolutely everything is bottoming out. There's always something that's running up to the upside.
So that would have been a good time to buy at 29,000 regardless, because eventually we knew it was going to come down. We just didn't know when it was going to come down.
Right. That
Yeah.
10% there you were saying.
And what is it made up of? Like the S&P?
Yeah, it's just an index. So if you go through, it's through ProShares. So if you look at it, it's ProShares Trust Ultra VIX Short ETF. So basically what that means, it's like the S&P 500 version of the VIX. So when the market tanks, the VIX goes like this. That's why I don't want you to hold it for a long period of time, because as we continue to go up, it will weight your portfolio down. But for like a 2-week, 3-week period, absolutely amazing to have. Absolutely amazing to help hedge the losses that you're facing if you're investing in indexes or tech or retail companies.
Galaxy Note 8, you got a question?
Yes. How you doing, fellas?
What's
I'm
going
good.
on,
How are
bro?
you?
Good. All right. I just had a question about weed stock. My cousin, he actually sent me some in January. He's a little bit more savvy than I am. It's called Tilray Incorporated, I believe. I think it was in January. It was like about $75, and right now it's down to like $3. So is that something to like?
That's crazy. That's crazy. Not to cut you off, but that's crazy because I was just talking to Jamal. He called earlier, and he knows a lot about these weed spots.
Yeah.
Canopy Grow. Obviously, a lot of people have heard of that. But he was telling me about Tilray. I never heard of it before, but he was telling me about Tilray today, and we just had that conversation.
Now he just raised his hand.
Yeah. Actually, let him know.
So you guys can go look this. So everything that I tell you guys comes from me putting my own money into the market. No theory, right? So that's why I approach and talk about the market the way that I do, and this sometimes sounds unconventional. Tilray, if you can get it at $1 or $1.50, yes, but it's not going to stay up for long. 2 years ago, I shorted Tilray at $2.89. Everybody I knew laughed at me and told me I did not know what the fuck I was talking about. Excuse the language. Tilray dropped from 300 to now it's at 243. Most weed stocks are not good. So if you're going to buy it, you have to buy it at 150 or $2, and then maybe ride it up to $15 at most.
So that's not a long term.
No, not long term. Not long term. Most weed stocks don't have the strength that they need yet to push up. So look, if you look at CANN, General Cannabis Corporation, the all-time high is 11.19. It's at 35 cents right now. MCIG, all-time high is above 50 cents. It's almost at pennies now. So Tilray will be a very short-term play, but go to Yahoo Finance, type in TLRY, look at 20 years and tell me what you see. The trend slopes down. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay.
At $1.50 or $2, fire away. But here, if it gets above 10, don't touch it, please.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. I appreciate you. And if you guys have questions about particular stocks, I'll tell you yay or nay as well. You guys can go look at my IG and scroll back through my feed, or if you're friends with me on Facebook, you can see when I talked about shorting Tilray.
So somebody earlier, they said on YouTube, they said, so what's the best way for people to like set up their account? Robinhood, Fidelity, E-Trade. Robinhood recently had a lot of problems last week as far as
ton of issues.
Yeah, liquidating, and they froze for like a little bit. They froze twice in 1 week, I think.
3 times. Yeah, and even like placing option trades for those of you that do options on Robinhood. This is the first time in this kind of market they were stress tested. Like everything works well when everything is calm and smooth. A lot of even TD Ameritrade had some delays. As far as brokers, I don't care who you use. I care that people actively invest with to answer the question. Robinhood is good if you're a beginner because it's simple, it's not complicated. If you are a more advanced, you can go TD Ameritrade, you can go Fidelity, you can do Vanguard. I have no affiliate relationships with any of them, so it doesn't matter to me who you use. If you want ease, like you want to be able to start tonight, you can definitely do Robinhood. And I know some people were asking about the simulator. It's not in the App Store anymore, but if you go to chartcut.com, you can practice trading there, and it's a great game for kids as well. But as far as brokers, Robinhood is probably the easiest. But if you need something that is more robust, I use Thinkorswim, which is owned by TD Ameritrade.
I had a question because I was watching your post yesterday, and I felt like Matt. I was like, "Yo, what is that?" You were talking about ticks, and you had 100 ticks. What are ticks? What is that?
Ticks are like pennies. So for every movement up, if I get 1 tick of profit, so we talked about this on the show, right? So if you have 25 shares, if you get 4 ticks, you can make 31.25. So I had on 33 contracts yesterday, and then I ended up hitting 120 ticks. I had a good day yesterday.
I was watching it. I'm like, all right, what is he talking about though?
Yeah, just think of it, for every tick that you're up, if you guys trade Forex, and for all you Forex traders, I know you.
They came for you. They came for you.
They wasn't happy about that.
Yeah. Here's my thing about, and I'll touch on this really quick. I don't hate Forex traders. I don't like the recruitment part of it. And then I just said it doesn't pay the most. That's true. So I'll ask you guys this. If I told you podcasting did not work, would you argue with me about it? No, you know your numbers. You're just like, Ian doesn't know what he's talking about. But the truth is, futures pays more, and most people that trade Forex are struggling. I'm just here to help. Like, I'm not here to sell anybody on anything, because in the beginning, when I started, I didn't have anyone to help me. And so I know a lot of you Forex traders kid me about that, but 100 ticks or 120 ticks is the same as if you got 120 pips in the market, or if your investment in the stock market went up 120 pennies. It's all the same thing. It's just a different unit of measurement. And that's what tricks a lot of people up. You can have like call and long and buy are all the same thing. It's the language that trips people up. Shorting, the market dropping is the same thing. Puts, they're all the same thing, but it's the languaging that I think trips.
I heard you saying like long on ES, we're ticking. I'm like, wait, what? So what's long on ES?
So yesterday we had a nice run in the middle of the day. So I just bought the ES yesterday, and as it was going up, and we were having a nice run. So you can see, let me go back to yesterday. You can see we pushed up heavy, and all I did, so we bottomed out at 22.62. From that low, we went from 22.62 and we went back up to 2,400. It was one of the craziest moves I've seen, because normally the S&P 500 is very slow. It was moving like Bitcoin yesterday at that speed. So when I was in the move, I'm like, I hadn't seen a move happen this fast in a long time. And then for my more technical traders, I trade off a 10-minute time frame. So if you look yesterday on the ES, we shot up end of day from 22.95 up to 24.12 in 20 minutes. So it was just a great move because of the speed of the market. And of course, with the circuit breakers and the funding that the Feds are putting in, they're trying to stop the bleeding. And when people are seeing that the Feds are putting in that much money, they're starting to buy. And that's what made the market go up so much. But tick, pip, and penny are all the same thing. So
how do you we appreciate the super chat. I believe that's what this is called, right?
Yeah.
Super support, super chat. Shout out to MG the Mortgage Guy for starting that trend. Super support. So how do you how much time does it take to be an effective short-term trader or day trader? Like, how much time? Because it's always, I always wanted to be a day trader my whole life. But it's like, because that's like the best thing in the world. Like, you wake up, you're in front of a computer, and you just making money. But obviously there's a lot of time that's put into it. So like, because people think you can do it like part-time, like how much time do you need to be efficient?
I can only tell you what I did. In the beginning for me, it was me studying 12 hours a day. Now I'm at like 4. Some people want to dabble and do 20 minutes to an hour. You can make some money, but I don't care what business you're in. Matt can attest to this too. You guys can attest to it in your businesses. There is no business that you can run for an hour a day and make a killing from it. Fallacy. So I'm not that's why when people are killing me in the comments, I'm like, I'm not selling you a dream. My entire thesis is work hard consistently. So you need minimum 4 hours. If you want to invest full time, at least 4 hours a day. And then also it should feel like a video game. So to me, although these screens are ugly, it's no different than a kid when I was a kid playing PlayStation. I felt the same way. Or when I played ball, I would be at the park outside when it was 95 and play 5-6 hours a day, just trying to get better. So if it feels like a chore or a burden for you, it's not for you. Maybe real estate may be a better fit, but in long-term investing, you don't even have to put that much time in if you're buying quality companies. But if you want to actively invest and make money in the market, you should minimum do 4 hours a day. Minimum.
We spoke about the airline industry and sort of the retail when we talk about Starbucks. What do you think about the hotel industry? Because I know that Marriott had a decent day today. Hilton's down. PK was at $33, is now at $4. You think that comes after the airline stimulus, or what's your take on that?
I would do airlines first for sure. Hilton, the low of Hilton was what, 33, and the high was 115. So it's at $50 now. It's not bad, but I would rather go Delta because, like you said, you have to fly. Like being in a hotel is optional. You don't have to be at a hotel. At some point, either for celebration or, God forbid, funeral, you're going to have to fly. For business, you're going to have to fly. Kids are going to have to take a trip. You have to travel. So they would get the support that they need first. But I would say if you're going to look at a hotel, my theory is always to look at the top 3 and start there, and then you'll be fine. But you don't need 45 companies in your portfolio. Just pick 4 or 5. The issue is people hear about these opportunities, and then they're not prepared to wait the 4 or 5 years for them to materialize. Anybody that lived through 08 who invested, they're like, I've been through this before. But if it's your first time, it's scary as hell because everyone wanted this drop.
Yeah.
Even when we had the conversation in January, we talked about it. Everyone wants this big drop to happen. Here we are. Everybody's on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the sidelines.
Oh, I'm gonna wait till it goes lower.
Yep. And then it goes back up and we hit all-time highs and it's like, oh man, I missed out again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't get left at the dock this time. We gotta get on the boat.
Yeah.
Just find 3 or 4 good companies, invest, and then you guys will be good.
So as far as your program, let's talk about Red Panda. So you help people. Can you talk about that and go a little bit detail on that? Like as far as the actual, like what actually does it all entail?
So I have 3 different programs. So I have a stock pick of the month club. So if you don't want to spend hours in front of these matrix charts, like Ricardo was talking about, figuring out what to invest in, that stock club is $99 a month. I tell you what to invest in. I give you a video of the month and I break down why we are investing in that thing. And personally, I don't tell you to invest in anything that I don't have myself. The second program is a 1K a day program that teaches you how to actively invest in the market. So that's the program where you'll learn futures, you'll learn how to trade. Some people are asking, well, isn't it risky? All business is risky if you don't put your time into it. So if I tell all of my students, like, you have to take 300 practice trades before you are ready to go live. This is the thing. No one wants to practice.
Everybody wants to be in the game.
Practice.
There's no different. Like, I can't go play pickup ball at LA Fitness for two days and then like, man, I'm ready for the league. This is the only business where people are like, if I can't do it in 4 weeks, I don't want to do it. And I want us to stop dabbling. I don't care whether you do real estate, investing, e-commerce, wholesaling, flipping. You have to choose to master something. You have to choose mastery. That's the only option. So that's the 1K a day program. And then for my more serious investors who are looking for an edge, I have the Alpha program. That's super expensive. That's 29 grand for lifetime support with live trading. But most people can't afford that. That's with reason, because I'm not trying to sell people, hey, let me get $99 from you and I can teach you everything and you'll be able to make $50,000 in a day. So I have a beginner's level, which is the stock pick club, a middle level, which is the 1K a day program. And then for my seasoned investors that are already doing well in the market, Alpha is a good fit for them. Everything else I get for free. Everything else. Even like the setup for the 31-25 strategy on Friday night, I'm going to email you guys the setup on NinjaTrader and the parameters for it so you can begin practicing it on your own.
Oh yeah, Saturday, you got a free course on Saturday, right?
Yes.
Saturday?
Saturday.
Yes.
Okay.
Saturday at noon Central.
And what that's going to be about trading?
Trading and long-term investing. So people want a little bit more detail because we talked about targets to hit, but I'm gonna walk you through how to set up Fibonacci, how to look at the market, how to add Bollinger Bands and RSI and some of those things so you can begin to look on your own and then give them the setup. And like, for those of you that have interacted with me on Instagram or Facebook, you know I haven't been in your DM asking you to buy anything. Because when I started, I didn't have anyone to help me. So that's why I'm so passionate about it. Because I'm like, man, if I knew this going back to when I was 15, 14, some of the companies have went up 400 or 500%. Like Apple, even in like a 10-year period, almost went up 1,200%.
Yeah.
It's like we miss out not knowing or thinking everything is a scam. Everybody that has made, that is a billionaire or millionaire, that money came from investing. Either they had a company and went public, or they were tied to financial services. Real estate and investing are tied together. So we can stop like the East Coast, West Coast war.
Yeah, you heard that?
Both. My dad is a real estate developer and has a construction company. The principles of buy low, sell high, I learned from him in real estate.
Yeah.
I want to take a distressed ass, and my dad still is rehabbing houses in Gary. He's like, if I can get a house for $5,000 and then I can gut it and rebuild the value into it, I'm fine. Everyone thinks it's crazy. Look at Brooklyn, look at Detroit, look at Atlanta. It's the same plug and play thing. Now everything's on sale. People are afraid. You have to stop buying things at highs.
Yeah, we got a question from Barbie.
So before we get to the question, because we got a few more questions before we wrap. But so I'll just interject. So this is part of when we was telling you we have an EYL University. That's our online platform. So this is like a sneak peek for anybody that's not a member. So this is the EYL University platform is different from the podcast because as you can see, it's interactive. You get to ask questions. It's like real-time learning. That's why we call it EYL University, because it's actually like a real school. So this is like an open house.
Yeah.
So if anybody's interested, if you want to join, we're doing a special for I think 24 hours. So EYL University, if you enter the code EYL99, it's 65% off. I think 75% off. 75% off of the annual membership, and it's $99. $99 for the entire year.
Yeah.
So that's like $8 a month. And yeah, it's classes every single week. Every single week, like people that we bring on the podcast. So a lot of times we bring people on the podcast and it's like you learn for an hour, but people still have questions.
Yeah, then they go to the other end.
Yeah. So with EYL University, you get interactive stuff like this. You get discounts on merch. You get discounts at our live events.
Yep. Yeah, you get pre-sale access to the live events. It's a whole.
So it's a whole vibe. So yeah, if you're interested, EYLUniversity.com. Enter the code EYL99, and it's 72% off, $99 for the entire year. Which includes like I think we have like 35 courses already.
At least, yeah.
Every week we just keep adding to it. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, we're taking a question.
Barbie, what's up?
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Oh, we hear you perfectly.
Hi. First of all, thank you guys so much for this podcast. I've learned so much. I'm older than all of you, and I am like learning so much on every single episode. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Really
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
And Ian, I'm really learning from you right now on stocks. I've done day trading before, and I was interested in your program on Red Panda. You just explained the $99 portion, but what I wanted to ask you is that guided, or is it something like you say what to invest in the $99 plan because it's something you're already investing in? Or do you stay with the student with this is where you should come in at, or this is where you should sell at, or
I'll tell you the exact price that you like. I'm looking at American Airlines right now. Oh, I don't love it. And the way that I am here.
You say you don't love it?
Not yet.
Why?
I went from 59 to 10. It's too steep of a
drop.
It's too steep of a drop.
I got them on my watch list, man.
Like if we can get it at $7.50, it'll be a good area. Man, that's a hell of a drop. But even if you look, so if you guys can see my screen, all these blue monthly candles, before we had this drop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. American Airlines had 20 negative months.
Mm.
That's 20 negative months. And if you compare that to Delta only had 2 negative months in comparison. So they had, American had been falling for 20 months anyway beforehand. But if we can get it at 750 or $5, I'm not mad. But to answer your question, Barbie, I'll tell you what to invest in because I'm looking to add that thing to my portfolio. But if you have questions about it, I will tell you a specific price and I give you a breakdown. And if you ever have a question, I can talk about investing and trading all day. So if you message me on Telegram and say, hey, why do you like this one? I'll break it down and then I'll also record a video and then send it to you as well and let you know my thoughts on it as well. So it's very interactive how it is here.
Okay. And then one more question. I'm a very busy mom, so I would like to have the time that you're talking about, and I totally get it. As far as, taking this seriously and when you're investing, but is there something where between the 99 and then you had the $10,000 plan that you had, those are what I saw on the site, where it could be based on, because the other group that I was in, there was a plan where he continued to tell you different things. And still you're on your own, everybody is responsible for themselves, but the same type of thing where they're investing in the things and where you should get in or get out. And of course you have to be responsible, but
I have a program for futures called Apex where I tell you exactly where to get in and you can join our live trader room and I'll tell you exactly where to get in and get out.
Okay.
That's an option, but anything other than that, no. And the reason why I keep the price points high, because if you don't have $10,000 to invest, it's just a barrier. Because if you're below 10,000, you need to put all of that money into the market long-term first. And I hated when I was told that as a kid, but I totally get it now because until you get to that $10,000 mark, you need to put that every single dollar into a Roth IRA or into your own account. But if you like for me to help you, I would love to. But I'll be very honest with you. I'm not big on selling. If you don't think that you have the time for it, you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't, because I care about long-term relationship and reputation more than I do a sales transaction right now. Because I honestly would prefer not to have to teach anybody, but this end up falling in my lap. Like I didn't start investing to begin teaching people. Like I started posting my results and then it caught traction. So, but I would love to help you. And even if you guys have questions about stocks, you can just message me on IG and say, what do you think about Tilray? No. MCG? No. GE? Hell no.
I seen that. I seen your Twitter. You went on a Twitter rant about that. Hell no, 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 hell no.
Companies are just, and even if you look at GE, going back to that same theory, if you guys look at the last, GE had been negative since what? January 2017, and people were like, well, GE fell because of Corona. GE was a piece of shit for the longest time. But if you look at a 10-year chart, you can see the decline. At one point in time, GE was an amazing company. It's just not that anymore. And you should be able to clearly see. You want to see a stock go up and to the right. And if it is going down, you don't want to touch it. The only exception is the Corona has pushed a lot of things down. But go back and look and see what it's done the last 10 years, or like Rashad talked about in the episode, point of inception from the very beginning, and see how it's done.
Somebody said, "What's your biggest return on a trade?" I guess, or like what's, I guess like percentage. Percentage, yeah.
1,000%.
1,000%.
Yeah, you guys can go look on my Instagram and see, and it was a Bitcoin related investment that I shorted.
Crypto.
So for everybody's like, well, he doesn't like Bitcoin and Forex because he can't trade. There are currency futures. I can trade everything. And here's the truth. For all traders, if you can trade one thing and you have a system to trade one thing, you can trade everything.
It's the same thing.
It's all. So that's like saying, well, because he prefers to play in the garden, he can't play at the Rucker. I don't want to fuck up my knees at the Rucker. Like, I want to play inside.
Can't translate.
Yes, and futures just pays more per tick, or for Forex traders per pip. That's the only reason. I never said I never said you couldn't make money in Forex. I just know most people that trade it don't. That has one of the highest failure rates. But if you trade one thing, you can trade them all.
When we look on social media, man, it seems like every time somebody posts about Forex, they're making money, man. It's so misleading.
But how much?
That's the key. That's the key. I think that's something that we definitely gonna have to cover. So we can get some of these misconceptions out.
Let me ask you this, because everybody, hindsight's 2020, and everybody wishes they would have brought Google, Amazon, Apple.
Yeah.
We can never predict the future, never. But it's kind of like sports where you got Zion probably going to be a Hall of Fame.
You can see certain signs, yeah.
Do you have any stock that's like not at that level yet, but you really think that has potential to kind of like be big in a few years?
Oh, I mean, AMD has held value very well.
What is that?
NVIDIA has held value. They're a microchip maker. So if you look at the ticker symbol A and like Apple, Michael, Douglas, NVIDIA, because they're always going to be tech related. You notice all the companies that we mentioned that have done well and taken off are all in the tech sector.
Yeah.
Not that I'm the smartest guy, but retail gets hit hard. Retail has a cap of how high and how low to go. Tech does not. Even Tesla. Tesla is not a car company. Tesla is a technology company.
Yeah. They just asked them to make the ventilators.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're the only car company that didn't stop production.
Yes. It's a technology company. Elon Musk came from PayPal, another great company.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone that came out of that PayPal mafia has done well. So he just applied what he learned from PayPal and put it in a Tesla. He's really a hybrid of maybe like Ben Horowitz and Steve Jobs together.
Mm-hmm.
So tech company, they are going to run. And then we talked about tech indexes that you can invest in and ETFs. Like if you guys look there, but PayPal, NVIDIA, AMD, they are all going to do incredibly well.
Add that to my list.
Yeah.
PayPal, AMD, what was the other one?
NVIDIA.
What's the symbol for that?
NVIDIA is NVDA. United, thoughts on United?
You froze up for a minute.
Say it again.
NVDA.
Gotcha.
Got it.
We had a question about United. Let's see. United, I don't love, but if you can get it at, it's actually at a good spot now. If you can get United at 17 or 18 and you can hold it for 5 years, you'll be good. I will probably sell it at $87.42. But yeah, if you can hit United at 17 or 18, I will hold it for 2 or 3 years till it gets to
What's that, 21 right now?
It is at 21.90, yes.
Yeah, it's on my watch list.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good time to buy. My absolute, I am in love with it price is $6.50. I will probably throw a sizable amount of money in United if it gets to $6.50.
Noted.
Yep.
People have fears. People ask about fears in regards to day trading and futures trading.
What fears do I have about it?
Like, no, I guess like they have fears. Like people, like, it's very,
Risk, as you should.
Yeah.
As you should. Anything that you do not want to practice, you should not do it. Because the way to overcome fear is just simply by doing. So if you practice, so the thing is, most people don't practice long enough. If you talk to any trader, so you guys can go buy a book, or you can get it free online, Market Wizards. It talks about the top investors of all time. It's no different than any other sport. So yes, trading does have risk, long-term and short-term. I do know for sure that me knowing this stuff, when the market dropped, I did not panic. And it was scary how calm I was because of all the prep work that I do on a daily basis. Everything sped up. So we went from regular season to like finals basketball and trading very fast. Mm-hmm. So if you're not willing to put in the 4 to 5 hours a day, Don't do it. Don't do it. It's that simple. If you want to put your time, but the alternative is to what? Sit on a sideline and hope that someone financially liberates us. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't care I don't care if you make t-shirts. I don't care what business you're in. Like even the Instagram girls that doing what they're doing on Instagram, they're on Instagram 4 or 5 hours. We have to treat it like a business. We cannot dabble.
The bartenders are in trouble. There's no bar open.
It's in trouble.
Shout out to the bartenders in the world.
I really don't try to come from
bartenders.
Yeah.
Nah, but yeah, they in trouble.
Nah, Ian, man, it's been a pleasure. How can people? All right, so the free class on Saturday at 12 p.m. Central Time.
That's 1 p.m. Eastern.
1 p.m. Eastern. Yes, if you guys type in your name and email on the joinredpanda.com site, I'll send you the link Friday night. The training is absolutely free. I'm going to go over long-term investing first, then trading. I'll make a soft offer. Like if you want to join the stock club for $99, the price is $99 per month. You can cancel at any time. The 1K program is 10 grand and Alpha's 29. My pitch fest is 3 minutes. Everything else is free content, just how it is tonight. So join us Saturday. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. And even for those of you that are on now, if you prepare 5 questions, come treat it like a free consult that you don't have to pay for. And I'll be happy to talk to you. I mean, I can talk to you guys about investing all day, but yeah, United 17 or 18. Yes. And the highest I would get it would be $24.80, and I would hold until $87.42.
What about JetBlue?
Let me go. JetBlue is what's the ticker?
What's JetBlue's ticker? Hold on, we're pulling it up right now.
And if you guys have any other stock questions, just ask, and I'll be happy to give you my thoughts on it.
JBLU.
JetBlue, cheap. 31. The highest 31.43. Give me 1 second.
Somebody said, ask about Illuminati rigging market. Have you ever met Illuminati before?
I haven't personally myself. I'm not that.
You're dead serious with that guy.
Nah, I mean, I just haven't seen them. I don't know what I'm not familiar.
Yo, man.
Now, yeah. Well, JetBlue is actually at a good place to buy.
Right now. Good place to buy right now.
Yeah, it's if you can get it from 760, anywhere from 715 to 760 is a good buy.
How many negative quarters they have? I'm looking at your chart. How many negative quarters?
This is a monthly chart. They only had one. This is the only month that they have been. Look at the quarterly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6 negative quarters, but it's at the 15% low from the high.
Yeah.
So I would hold it from 716, and I would ride it probably back up to 20 and exit there.
Gotcha.
Yep. But as far as the market being rigged, I said it on the interview, the market is rigged to stay up. All this money that they're pumping into the market, that is the rigging.
I mean, that's the crazy thing. It's like, it's not even, it's obvious.
It's not
if you don't know that
it's not hidden. Yeah.
Listen to the president talk. He's always talking about the economy.
It's already obvious that everything, Bitcoin is the most rigged. Cryptocurrency, I figured that out when I was playing in crypto. People think that crypto's here to liberate the people. Crypto's the most rigged thing, period. Because you got all those whales out in Asia. You got like 50 people that's controlling the whole marketplace, and they manipulate it at their will.
Yes.
Same thing with the stock market. I mean, that's obvious. Like, we don't have to like go into conspiracy theories about.
It's in plain sight.
An invisible man is created something.
Rich and powerful people control the world. Like, it's obvious. We don't have to say that. Like, it's pretty. If you don't know that,
so that's the Illuminati.
A light bulb went off. Like, a light bulb shouldn't have gone off to know that if you have money, you can control things. Obviously. Period. It's the way it's always been since 100 AD.
Yeah, we haven't been on the side to control it, but we're about to change all that, man. The narrative is
one company that has held value pretty well, and I wouldn't buy it right here, but long term is great. Walmart has done incredibly well of holding this value, and then Waste Management is pretty solid as well. WM. They didn't have as violent of a drop in comparison.
Yo, all my people on YouTube, I hope y'all taking notes. Like, we're literally here taking notes.
For sure.
I hope y'all taking notes. Zoom, everybody, EYL University
A whole lot of
students.
game. That's a whole lot of game,
Just a
man.
lot.
Yeah, and for my traders, like, listen, man, I know y'all think I'm a one-trick pony. I'm not. And you have to realize too, we could have talked for 3 hours about trading. We had to cut the interview off at some point. But if you just want to get into like technical, just message me. We can hop on and trade at any time.
Shout out to you. Because I never got to tell you this, man, but Ian was like the first one of the first EYL guests to come bearing gifts.
Oh yeah, appreciate that.
We appreciate that, man. That was a
Appreciate
sign of just high character, and that's exactly what you are. Even you had your own photographer with a
cameraman with the high chair.
With the high
chair. That's true.
Shout out to East Town. Shout out to East Town.
We hopefully, this Corona thing. Once this Corona thing clears up, we come to H Town, man. You gotta rock with us too.
I would love to.
Yeah,
I would love to.
You're part of the team now, bro.
Yeah, but I just want to tell you guys, I love you. Everyone listening, I love you. To even the Forex community that went crazy. I like y'all talking about shit.
You took time to answer every one of them.
That made me be like, oh, okay, let me show. So you guys can go on my page and look and see the trades there. Because here's the thing about trading. Trading are like, the community is about financial empowerment, but it becomes a who has the biggest dick contest. Unfortunately, it's like people that played ball in college or high school, but they didn't get to play. So they want to tell you all these war stories about what they could have did. No, I mean, how you score 60 in the quarter. But my thing is like, if you can trade, you don't care what anybody says. Even after the market fell, people like, I told you that investing shit doesn't work. I'm like, let me know in 1 year. And then I told everybody in 2018 we were going to hit a recession in 2020. I would call the levels in real time. If we break 2400 on ES, all hell is going to break loose. We broke it. All hell. And now Bank of America came out today and said, we've been in a recession since late 2018.
Yeah, that's all that.
So it's not that hard to wrap up for everyone else. Just get you 3 or 4 companies long term. Secondly, trading is not for everybody. If you are not excited to get up and look at the market, it's not for you.
Ricardo got a question. Can
Go
you
ahead.
see it?
Take out a low interest personal loan to buy more stock now. Tell me what the percentage on the loan is. If it's over 2%, I would say no. I'm anti-debt, and people kill me about that. I will tell you personally, when shit hit the fan and the market turned, it felt really good to not owe anybody anything. It felt really good. Even the people that talk crazy, the reason why I can talk so strongly, this is what I lived. Our lights were off when I was a kid. This ain't no fucking theory for me. I've been like, the majority of my adult life, I was broke. You know how good it was to pay off all credit card debt, all student loans, and have no car note? That's empowering. Like, and I'm not stopping anybody if they want to go that route. I will tell you, having loans called on you in the middle of a crisis is a bad fucking feeling. I went through that. This is no theory for me. No theory. You know how bad it is to be in a business deal and have a loan and they call you and be like, we need our 50 next week. I thought all that was good. And nobody helped. Hey, brother, I'm gonna pray for you. Send some money with that prayer. What happened to the money? Everyone has lip service when shit hits the fan. And I want to test anyone here. Tell anybody you know, I need 10,000 tomorrow. I'm in trouble. See what they tell you.
Where'd the money go?
People won't even give you toilet paper nowadays.
It's real out here.
Come on. So if the personal loan is over 2%,
2%, don't do it. Somebody said they want to sign up for Saturday's class. They don't see it on the site.
Just enter your name and email on joinredpanda.com and I'll send you the link Friday night. It'll be in Zoom as well. We'll probably hit capacity pretty fast, so I'm telling you, please be on it early. Please be on early. And I don't want to get biblical, but if you guys go Google verses about debt in the Bible, see what the Bible says for those of you that are Christian.
Amen.
And make sure y'all check out episode 70 of Earn Your Leisure.
Yeah.
With Ian, and he spit a lot of game about a bunch of stuff all over, even the historical part,
historical.
the history part. A lot of people like that as far as like with the slaves and the futures and like how that was that whole aspect of it.
I seen people just putting the blow my mind emoji out when they click in.
Yeah,
Our people, some of the other ones who please though, you should have seen my DMs. Man, but that's another thing. It's hidden in play. And not to knock the brother, this isn't something that I learned from Umar. Like, these are white and Jewish people who told me these stories. Mm-hmm. So I'm not on some hotep, like, just go Google it. Go to the library, and it's hidden in plain sight that we were the first. People like, no, it's not true. We were the first commodities traded. You can go look in any history book, and it's there in plain sight. So this is another reason why I'm so passionate about it, because to us, we're the only race that we have to convince that investing works. I'm not following up to sell anybody anything. Like, shout out to even Jamal. Like, Jamal was like, I want to learn. Shout out to you, my God. Like, he'll tell you. I never hit Jamal like, yo, man, hey, go to link, sign up, da, da, da. I'm like, man, I just want to help. I just want to help. But our people are so far behind by design that we have to convince us that having financial liberation is okay. Because a lot of us, even as a group, we self-sabotage.
That's a fact.
So we'll spend a lot of money at the mall to look good and stunt on each other, but we won't put any money together to help each other win. So that's what, like, Matt's movement, I love. I love y'all movement. Anyone that's doing, even for those of you that trade Forex, like, if you guys are winning, I'm happy for you. Like, it's not a competition. I want everybody to win. Like, even somebody asked me about options class. I'm like, I don't do options. Holler at Tila. I don't have a business deal with Tila. Tila can trade. Options work for her. She's a Black woman. And even if you got, I'm not competing against nobody Black. Even if you don't like me, I do not care. Do not care. I want to see us win.
Alan Redmond. The line is yours. Hello?
How you doing?
Yeah.
What's up, bro?
Nothing much, man. I guess I think I kind of came in kind of late or whatever.
Okay.
And I wanted to see, like, I guess, could I get like a recap or something of like majority of the stuff that you all talked about today?
You get the replay.
The recap, well, that's going to be difficult because we was talking for 90 minutes, but it's going to be on YouTube, though. This is going to be saved on YouTube.
Okay.
So, yeah, you can just check that out whenever you get a chance. And, yeah, so that it's going to be saved on YouTube. If you're a member of EYL University, it'll be archived there as well. And once again, for anybody that's just joined, this is a preview of EYL University, of what we do every single week, where we bring people on and we do interactive question and answer series and dive deep, more so even in the podcast.
Yeah.
And for everybody that is not a member, if you're interested, for 24 hours, we have a code EYL99, which is 72% off of the regular price, and $99 for the entire year, which is like $8 a month.
Yep.
And gives you full access to EYL University for classes like this, and for workshop recordings and discounts of merch and a whole bunch of stuff.
Free access codes to all our events.
Yeah. So EYL University is a more interactive way to learn. If you're interested, go to EYLUniversity.com, enter that code EYL99, and you get that. And yeah, man, I think we covered a lot. I think we covered a lot.
Dope. It's dope.
Between this and the podcast, it's like 2.5 hours of education. Now it's up to you guys to actually apply it. You know, we can only.
The rules. That's the rules. We always say that. Information is up to us. Application is up to you. We're gonna keep giving that information. It's time to start applying it. Right now is the time. Like we said, 2008. Some of us didn't have the resources and didn't have the information. There's no excuse now. We are the excuse killers of the generation. So it's time to start applying.
Yeah. And lastly, start small if you don't have a ton of money. Because when I started, I didn't either. But I'll talk to the fellows. We got money for them dates and them trips, though.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So, someone asked about Alibaba. Yes, Alibaba's amazing. And even I'm from Indiana originally. Eli Lilly has held value very well. So that's another one you guys can put on your watch list. And it's held up pretty well.
What is it called? EY Lilly?
Eli Lilly.
Eli.
Ian, what's your thoughts on Baidu and China Mobile? two Chinese companies. They've taken a huge hit.
Let me go up. China Mobile, I don't like as much. Well, it depends. If you're looking to hold it for maybe 10 years, you have a shot. I don't like. If I'm going to do an international company, it would probably be Alibaba. And just because, even if you look on a monthly chart, they were sliding down before. I don't like Baidu a lot. I wouldn't touch it.
Good to know.
I wouldn't touch it. But Eli Lilly is a pharmaceutical company. I'm not sure if they're going to have anything to do with the virus or the vaccines that come out. But in terms of dropping, they have held value pretty well. So you have to buy quality companies over and over again. And I get it. Like when I started, I didn't have a ton of money to invest in $200 stocks, 150. But the ones that are like $3 and $4, Rashad, you can tell the people this too. If they're 10 and below, they usually go to 1.
That's a fact.
I know everyone is always like, well, I know if I buy that 10, it can't go to 0. It has happened. Like another company, Valiant Pharmaceuticals, VRX. I was big in the short in Valiant Pharmaceutical. And Bill Ackman, who has way more money than everybody on this live stream combined, was buying Valiant. And I'm like, no, Valiant. And then Valiant ended up going out of business as a result.
Ackman was on
Yesterday.
CNBC. Did you watch that? Yeah, that dude was crazy.
Yeah, he got emotional.
Yeah, he was. I'm like,
I got personal.
nah, that dude was different.
No, he got personal. Today they had like a whole panel. They was like, yo, we can't let emotions get into investing.
That was outrageous.
He started
Outrageous.
David's family.
No, he said America is about to fall apart.
He said hell is coming. Hell is coming.
Yo, he said Hilton could go to 0. They're like, wait, didn't you say? He's like, yeah, I just brought some. He was like,
but the thing is, though, at that level, because at one time people thought Bill Ackman was going to be the new Warren Buffett, and it's no different than hooping. Like whenever someone is crowned the next something, that puts a lot of pressure on them to perform. Even Ray Dalio, probably the greatest investor in the last 20 years, he drew down 20% on his fund this quarter. And Ray Dalio was notoriously famous for not losing more than 5%. They deviated from the rules of Bridgewater a little bit, the guy who wrote Principles. So if you've seen Diddy with the older white guy, that's who that is. We all have made those same mistakes. So even billionaire investors mess up. That's why it's very important to stick to your rules. But Ackman, yeah, he's a little bit more emotionally charged, and he doesn't want, CNBC doesn't want him to get people afraid. But man, he's telling the truth. We have fallen. Like imagine if you're making $100,000 at a job and you're coming to work the next day and they tell you, we're paying you $22,000. That's basically what's happening in the market. And some of these companies won't recover. The good ones will.
That's it. Do your research, do your homework.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. You only need three or four companies. Do not be afraid. Like, 3 or 4.
Nah, bro, I appreciate that, man. How can the people contact you, your social media and all of that?
You can follow me on IG at The Master Investor. You can follow me on joinredpanda.com. If you guys have questions, you can text me. My personal number is 719-334-8090. I'm not going to sell you anything. And truth be told, if I don't think you're a good fit for some of the Red Panda programs, I'm not going to put you in it. So you don't have to worry about that. I'll see you guys on Saturday. But the information that you need, you can go to the site at joinredpanda.com, and I'll be happy to help you. But if you send me a message on IG, I'll reply to you the next 2 or 3 days. It's been crazy. And thank you guys. Like, I knew the Earn Your Leisure bump was real. Shout out to Trapper, because he told me like 2 months ago, he was like, bro, I see you. The bump gonna be real. And I'm like, okay. And then, man, my phone has been on. My mom called me like, I'm so proud of you. I see all these people following. It's like, and then she saw the comments about Forex. She like, don't worry about it, baby. I'm like, I'm cool.
Lucy goes your back, but don't worry about it, baby.
Yeah, but even to the trading community, thank you. Like, I love you guys. Because even in there's a guy that somebody mentioned, Raj at Wix Don't Lie. Like, Raj can trade. It's just like playing ball. If you can hoop, or if you can trade, I have no issue with you. Because I want to see everybody win. Just be careful, practice.
Yeah, sorry about that. We had
My man Alan was still going.
Yeah, Alan's still going. But all right, bro. So I appreciate it. If you haven't watched the episode yet, make sure you check out episode 70. And this live will be saved on YouTube. So this will be another resource for you.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out the class on Saturday. Make sure you check out EYL University for more content like this.
Yeah.
EYL 99 is the code for $99 for the entire year.
Yeah, and check out all our episodes. We got 70 episodes up there with clips on YouTube while you have some time.
Yeah.
And yeah.
While you're social distancing, use your time wisely.
Educate yourself.
Use your time wisely when you're home and you got nothing else to do. Do not waste your time making memes, doing nonsense on social media. This is a perfect opportunity to educate yourself. So use your social distancing time wisely.
Yeah, pick a topic, man. We probably have covered it.
It's there. Yeah.
And we got some more to go. So yeah, definitely. After a while, Netflix runs out of content, right?
Yeah.
You can't just keep watching the same thing. So you might as well educate yourself while you have some time.
Yeah,
that's a fact. So
yeah, I greatly appreciate you. You guys stay safe out there. When this Corona stuff passes,
we're coming to the age.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
I'll be happy to do it.
All right, bro.
All right, bro.
You guys have a good one. Everyone watching, love you guys. Appreciate you.
Peace.
Peace.